Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today it's time to talk about Machamp, the new Machamp from the upcoming Guardians Rising expansion. Now, I did do a video about Machoke recently, and I told you, look, these are different cards with different uses. They get separate videos. Machoke is the better, more important card. I had to get him out first. But there is some love to be given to Machamp here, I believe. So, going through the basics, fighting type is really good right now. We've got Carbink Break to accelerate energy, although do remember that Safeguard Carbink, from which Carbink Break evolves, only blocks EXs, not the new GXs, so it's lost a bit of power. You can use Strong Energy to do extra damage. You can use the upcoming Hilltop Stream, video done on that recently, link in the description, to search out some of your basic fighting, which will really help. And you're hitting weakness against things like Umbreon, Darkrai, Tauros, Gumshoes, etc. It's a brilliant type to have at the moment. As for the weakness to Psychic, well, you're weak to Espeon, and you're weak to Mewtwo, but Mega Mewtwo doesn't even hit for weakness anyway, so not the worst weakness to have right now. And although we can accelerate energy with Carbink Break, we can't really accelerate evolution at the moment. You've got to use Rare Candy. In Expanded, you can actually use Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick, but we're largely talking about standard format here, and unfortunately that's not an option you're going to have. I'm sorry. So the traditional route with Rare Candy, it will have to be. And this is an issue, because we've had good Machamps in the past that never saw any play because it was just a little bit too slow trying to get them out with Rare Candy. Look at the Machamp from Furious Fist that was reprinted in Generations. Really nice ability, allowing you to do an extra 20 damage from all of your fighting Pokemon. But it was too slow. It never saw any play. That's a big hurdle Machamp's going to have to get over. Although, do remember that if you manually evolve, you can use Machoke, and Machoke is awesome. 160 HP is pretty gosh darn good, and his retreat cost of 3 means that you can use Heavy Boots to actually put it up to 180 HP. Now he's got as much HP as an EX. That's cool. I like this. Now, the second attack is pretty good. Free fighting energy is a lot, I get it. But 150 damage? That's good. 30 damage to yourself is annoying, but 150 damage with strong energy, Professor Kukui, don't forget Choice Band that does an extra 30 to EXs and GXs. You can build this up to one-hit KO EXs and GXs, but we've got a similar problem to what I said about in my Minior video. Free fighting energy is not ideal. Now, you've got Carbink Break, and you can always use Max Elixir onto a Machop, but even so, free energy is quite a lot to be dealing with. But the better attack here anyway is the first attack. 2 fighting energy, 20 damage. Terrible. 80 more damage for each prize card your opponent took during their last turn. And it's not just from an attack, so if something like a Decidueye goes and takes 3 prizes in one turn, then you get to do 240 extra damage. Your opponent KOs a regular Pokemon, 100 for 2 is quite good. Your opponent KOs an EX like Shaman, for instance, and now you're actually doing 180 for 2 energy. And actually, I haven't mentioned this already, I don't think it's the best option when you're relying on non-EXs that only give up 1 prize. But you could use Regirock here to do extra damage as well. But then you've got high retreat Pokemon on your bench that aren't really attacking, and they are giving up 2 prizes. It's an option, but it's not one I would love here. And this is what I think is good about Machamp. 2 energy, 180 damage if your opponent KO'd an EX last turn, which is largely probably going to be Shaman. That's really nice. And of course, what your opponent's going to do here is try and play around this. They're going to try and not take an EX KO or multiple KOs when they know that you can use this attack next turn. But as I've said on many a video and many a podcast, check it out on iTunes, you can take advantage of this. You put a couple fighting energy on Machamp and then your opponent goes, oh, I don't want to KO a Shaman. Brilliant. Your opponent's giving you extra turns. Your opponent's making life more difficult for them, which helps you. And I'm totally fine with my opponent screwing themselves over because they're worried about my Machamp. Now, if I've got to be totally honest here, ladies and gentlemen, I still think he's too expensive. He's a stage 2, it's 2 or 3 energy, and the second attack free energy, first attack your opponent can play around it. And even though that might end up helping you, it's still a little bit of a pain. I've got to give Machamp between 2 and 3 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. And honestly here, I'm leaning more towards 2 Wassies. I like Machamp as a Pokemon, and I like this Machamp card. But I just think it's asking a little bit too much of you. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There is a comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Tell me what you think about Machamp. Have you got something I haven't thought about which might make him a little bit more playable? I kind of hope you do, because I really like Machamp. You can find me on Twitter at @TheWassie. You can like this video, and you should. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I really think you should. And of course, the most important thing as always is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio. And a quick reminder that I believe this is going to be one of the videos I'm uploading on my honeymoon, so if there are new cards and news that you want a video about that I haven't got to yet and you're wondering why, I will get to them. You will have a video about everything you need to know, but I'm on my honeymoon. I'm out of the country. You can still have daily videos. Any new news that's coming out will be addressed as soon as I get home.